Congregation Beth Israel is the oldest congregation not only in Houston, but in all of Texas. Beth Israel was established as an Orthodox kehillah. A kehillah is an organization of the community that deals with charities and other communal events. In 1859, the Orthodox Beth Israel opened in a former house that was converted to a synagogue. The first temple was created in 1874. This was also the same year Beth Israel voted to go to Reform Judaism. There are three different sects in Judaism. There's Orthodox, Conservative, and Reform, listed from strictest to most liberal. Now, in 1908, the congregation moved into a new temple in a downtown community center, which is now the spot for the Grove in Discovery Green. But yet again, in 1925, Beth Israel moved. They moved to a synagogue off of Holman Avenue, and Austin Street. In 1967, Beth Israel moved yet again, this time to its permanent house in Meyerland. Now, the congregation is connected to a Jewish day school called the Schlenker School. There are many programs that the temple has to offer for many different age groups. For adults, there's Brotherhood, Sisterhood, the Leisure Club, and Tikkun Olam, which is a community service group. For young adults, there's Yaga, which is Young Adult Group Alternative Activities. This is a group for people between the ages of 20 and 30. Now, an extremely unique program that the synagogue has to offer is for college students and military congregants. During the high holidays and any other holiday, care packages are sent to these congregants. Now, a youth group that I enjoyed was BIFTY, Beth Israel Federation of Temple Youth. We would meet every Wednesday and every once in a while go to the mall or do some community service. Now, young families are also offered different alternatives for Friday night services. First, there is Shabbat Playdate, which, as it sounds, parents are able to socialize with other congregants as their children play. There is also Tat Shabbat. Now, this service is held once a month, and after the service, a nice healthy dinner is provided. Now, these programs, maintenance, and utility and salaries are all paid for by dues. Unlike churches, synagogues have membership dues. But Beth Israel does not turn you away if you don't have that much money. They have what is called the Fair Share Program. Through this program, the congregant is able to give the amount that they can financially be able to. Fair Share accounts 80% of the temple's budget, including the clergy salaries. Now, speaking of the clergy, we have Senior Rabbi, Rabbi David Reiner, Cantor Daniel Mutlum, Associate Rabbi Adrian P. Scott, and Assistant Rabbi Josh Herman. We also have Rabbi Emeritus Samuel Karff and Cantor Emeritus Robert Gerber. Now, if we follow the organizational chart, the congregants run the temple. Next in line would be the Board of Trustees for Congregation Beth Israel. The reason I state this is Schlenker has its own Board of Trustees, even though that board is at the same level as Senior Rabbi David Lyon. Now, I would like to mention that I believe Congregation Beth Israel falls under all styles of communication. The employees, such as the staff, janitorial, teachers, they all follow more of the classical approach. These employees have supervisors and directors to answer to. They have a chain of command, and they have job duties assigned in their titles. The tasks that are given come down from higher management. The clergy, on the other hand, has more of a social aspect. When speaking to Rabbi Herman, he explained that while Rabbi Lyon has the final say on anything, the rabbis work together most of all. Now, each rabbi works with their certain committees depending on the program that they are dealing with. When it comes to the actual Friday night and Saturday morning services, they work more independently. Cantor Mulu is kind of on his own, as he is the only cantor and runs the music department. But even with his role, he still has to answer to the rabbis and figure out what songs and what hymns will be sung in that week's service. Communication between the clergy is more done by email. They all have meetings, they're all busy, it is easier for them to reply. Now, Rabbi Lion usually works with the rabbis, but he has the ability to delegate and the authority to give marching orders. Beth Israel also works closely with the Schlenker School. I have not mentioned the school very much on purpose. Even though the school is connected to the temple, they have their own board. With Congregation Beth Israel being a Jewish synagogue, it can fall into the cultural approach. Beth Israel follows all cultural and religious beliefs of Judaism. During the high holidays, like Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur, the school is closed and the synagogue is turned into capacity of 1,100 people for each service. And it's not unusual to see the rabbis working on a Friday as they are getting ready for Friday night services. Congregation Beth Israel is definitely a cultural approach because of the religious background. But it can also fall into the social system and classical approach depending on what level of hierarchy you are. Me, I've been a member of Beth Israel since I was born. I had my bar mitzvah, my confirmation, and even graduated from Beth Israel Religious School. I thank you for listening to me today about my faith and where I practice my faith. Thank you and have a great day.